Hi YouTube, today I'm going to be doing my video on Sagittarius Moon. And I'm so sorry this is like a lot later than all the moon sign videos. I just noticed I forgot to make it or upload it. I think I made it but I didn't upload it. But anyways, so starting off, the moon is how you deal with your emotions or your emotional responses. It's kind of how you are at the core, the side that nobody really sees. Yeah, it's kind of just all that emotional stuff, you know? So the moon can fall, like this is kind of a detriment position for the moon at times, you know, depending on how the emotional expressions are channeled. It really just depends on that. Okay, so Sagittarius, you are a fire sign and it is mutable. That means you have a desire and a need for change and variety. Naturally, circumstances and living situations, especially depending on what other placements you have, but I'm just talking about the moon, you have a need to change it. You may love to move. Sagittarius moon people have a need to expand their knowledge, expand their passionate approach in life. They are a fire sign. They drive off of passion, whatever they want, whatever they love. Like it's just like this urge to really like go and move. So they are very optimistic and they have a very point of view and very expansive on their belief systems. And even though Sagittarius moons or just Sagittarius in general can come across a little rigid and closed-minded on their beliefs, if you make a point that defeats theirs, they will be open-minded to it. But they have beliefs, ideas, goals that need to be respected and treated right. Now, they have a need for freedom, and this is why their need for change is often very prominent, whether they want to expand their knowledge when it comes to studying or expand their knowledge when it comes to traveling. That saying, travel is the best knowledge or education or whatever, that is like the definition for a Sagittarius moon, because Sagittarius moons want to do whatever they feel they want to do. That's why they have a need for freedom. And whether it be moving across the world and developing a new culture, a new religion, a new belief, maybe seeing and expanding your knowledge on those cultures and on those areas of wherever they are, wherever you choose to move, this really satisfies the Sagittarius moon's need to change and their need to grow in the knowledge. These people love to learn, whether they know it or not, you know, and they grasp concepts, ideas, and what they're being taught really quickly. These people can be given a PowerPoint lesson that's 23 pages long. 23 sides long, they read it and they understand it, you know, but they don't really need to go into detail. And sometimes they can actually overlook the detail, but somehow they still manage to pass like every test without like putting a lot of effort into it, more than let's say Gemini, Virgo would. So along with that, the longing that they have to learn and to explore, they have this need to expand. Remember, it's all their expansion. It can either be exerted into traveling, which I already said, they love to travel and experience new cultures and beliefs and religions, but it can also be when it comes to reading or studying or growing their intellectual minds, because in a way they can connect this through like knowing more is like receiving a greater insight into everything. Kind of like education, and the more you know is the more you're expanding. And the fact that they can expand and the fact that they can grow is something that really interests them. So these people can be very inclined into their books and to their studies, or they can learn the way which is more of an experience. So it can go either way. They like to experience more things physically and go out and travel more, or maybe they can't do that, so they resort more to expanding their knowledge through books and studies, or it can be both. Either way. Along with that, when they can feel caged in. These people don't like to be caged in and confined because they have a need to kind of just want to do whatever they want to do. And emotionally, they can suppress this, especially when they have those negative feelings, because at times Sagittarius is a really happy-go-lucky sign. Now let me explain where the moon falls. The moon falls here. It's a detriment position. It is not necessarily the best because the moon is the emotions, and at times they can have a hard time expressing those negative emotions because they are so positive and optimistic, and they have a very good energy when it comes to life. These people want to experience everything, enjoy everything, and really grow their knowledge. And so when something gets in the way of that, which can be negative emotions, which inflict that growth, they can often suppress it, push it to the back, maybe deal with it. They probably deal with it in spurts, more sporadic, like they'll be sad about something and then they pick themselves back up very quickly because they are very optimistic, depending on what other placements they have, but just the moon. So, yeah, there can be a suppressant about their emotions and how they are expressed. Sometimes instead of dealing with things, they just run away from it because anything that has to tell them, anything that makes them feel a way they don't want to feel or put them in a situation that they don't want to be in, they have this need to run away from it, to escape it, to not dwell on it. These people don't want bad vibes and positive energy holding them down. So this is what causes them to suppress it. They suppress it, they deal with it, and then they may deal with it, and then they pick themselves back up because they're positive and optimistic, and then it goes away without them fully dealing on it and fully figuring out and fully communicating the way that they should. So they suppress it, and then the next week, automatically they're sad for one day and they're just like, what the heck happened? So these people, instead of dealing it all at once, like how a Pisces moon would probably deal with it, just take it all in the long run, be sad for 2 weeks. These people are more like, deal with it here, be feeling good, be feeling positive, be doing stuff that expands my knowledge, that expands my freedom, that I feel good, and then all of a sudden they hit like a rock in the road and crap, I feel bad again. So this is how they kind of deal with it. So my advice, if you're having this struggle and you don't necessarily know how to deal with your emotions, that may be a little bit overwhelming for a Sagittarius moon, or maybe you just want some insight on how to move on and not hit those bumps on the road, mainly it would just be it's okay to feel sad. Like a lot of Sagittarius moons don't want to feel sad because they're like, what? No, I don't, why should I? It's like they don't want to dwell on it because they don't want to feel sorry for themselves. And a lot of the times when it comes to other people's emotions, they can be very compassionate, but at the same time, if they don't care, they don't care, So, and they don't like to deal with those emotions. They don't know how to react. They want it to be happy. They want it to be good. They want it to be carefree. Like that vibe, that loose, friendly vibe. That it's like no bad vibes, man. That's Sagittarius. So like my advice on how to deal with these emotions so that you can be that truly happy, optimistic Sagittarius that you want to be is easier to achieve that. This is what I say. Now, everybody in their life goes through hard things. Everything that hurts you will make you sad, will hold you down for a while. And feeling as if you should just grow up and get over it and move on is only going to suppress that. So I want you to know that it's okay to deal with those emotions all at once. It's okay to kind of seclude yourself even if you don't want to. It's okay to feel. What you're feeling is natural. It's normal. It's okay. And you have this ability to get over it really quickly because the amount of time that you feel sad for, maybe all those moments added up together, that those small bursts of negative energy and sadness that you may have felt, when you combine them all, it might equal like 6 full days of being sad. Whereas someone that has a water moon or an earth moon may be sad for a longer period of time. So I don't really know, your sadness or what you're going through may be a lot longer than a week. I'm not the one to tell you how long your emotions should last. I'm just saying, maybe you compared to another person that is a water and earth may have a harder time dealing with it. So the amount of time that you'll be sad for isn't as scary as you think. It's totally okay that you're taking a longer time to get over something, or that you feel sad or you don't feel like yourself, you don't feel like that happy, optimistic person, that's okay, because when you deal with those emotions and you figure out what's making you sad and you communicate, because instead of running away from your problems, maybe communication might be a better thing so that the energy's cleared up, you get what you want, the other person gets what you want, the situation, when you communicate about what you're feeling, truly you let go, truly, and you let that sadness wave hit you, and you process it, you let it come through. I know it's not a strong suit of yours, maybe it's not something you like to do, and it's okay if someone asks you what's wrong and you actually tell them what's wrong. You don't have to say that you're good every time. You don't have to say that I'm fine, nothing's wrong. You don't have to act like that, because there's people that want to listen. There's people that care. Anybody that is your friend truly loves you and truly cares about you, because Sagittarius is our very bright, positive, happy energy that really make everybody feel good. So these people that have you in your life have you there because they make you feel good, and I'm sure they want to help you too. And it's okay if someone asks what's wrong and you tell them, and you let someone else give you an advice, because I know as a Sagittarius moon, that I'm not a Sagittarius moon when I'm saying, if you're a Sagittarius moon, you may not like to take the other person's advice because you feel as you already know, and what they say probably has no not validation, has no true purpose, or not purpose, but has no impact. Their advice may not have any impact of how it could help you. It has no force. It has no advice that you already didn't know. But maybe you have, whatever someone tells you, you're like, oh, I already knew that. But maybe because someone's telling you, maybe it's a sign that you should listen to that side of you that already knew that. Okay, whatever advice you're taking, whatever the advice they're giving you, maybe you already had that advice and you were just ignoring it because you yourself are your best therapist and your best advice seeker. But sometimes you can overlook it. You go through all the options and then just overlook all of them, But whatever someone has to say, whatever opinion they have to give, maybe it'll help you bring out that opinion that you already had in yourself. Maybe it would help you to realize that, oh, I already knew that, but wait, they're telling me it because I should do that. I already knew that. Yes, we acknowledge that you knew it, but it's okay now to take someone else's advice and deal with it. So, that's just how the moon can fall. And because you being as a Sagittarius moon, you want to be this expansive, happy, optimistic, glorious person that's full of knowledge and wisdom, which you are there. But for you to reach it higher and higher and to keep developing, growing, is to really communicate with others about your emotions. Maybe actually take some time out and deal with them. Come to a conclusion, come to a plan that benefits you and your well-being and the higher person and the higher knowledge that you want to achieve. Really think about what helps that instead of just ignoring it and saying, oh, I'm a wimp to cry. You're not a wimp to cry. You're perfectly fine for crying. You're perfectly fine for being sad. This is just a moon video, so I wanted to teach a way how to deal with the emotions that the moon gives. That's just a little FYI. And because the moon falls in Sagittarius due to the way that the emotions are expressed, I also wanted to mention that in it. Because I feel like if you find a passion that you really like, whether it be drawing, whether it be acting, you may not waste a lot of time on it if it's not expanding your knowledge, or if you feel like it's useless, you may overlook it, If it's not helpful to where you want to be in your life, you may overlook it and just put it to the side, even though it does help you channel your emotions a lot better. And although it does help you grow and understand and just express yourself a lot more, maybe that will help you and move on with whatever it is that you're hurting. So along with that, don't overlook something because it doesn't help you. Any creative outlet, you are a fire sign, you have an insane amount of passion, and that has to be channeled properly for the moon not to be a detriment position here. The moon can be amazing. This can be a very good placement for it, but you have to learn how to channel the negative emotions that causes it for the moon to fall. And that's it. It's all about how you express yourself. It's all about how you communicate with others, and it's all about how you deal with your own emotions and what you think and your personal growth. That's what Sagittarius is all about, and that's how you can make it a really good moon placement. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.